Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Phonics with Miss Marche. Hope everyone is doing well. Miss all of you. But today we have something fun and exciting to learn. Today I want to teach you about quotation marks. Can you say quotation marks? Good. Now, a lot of you are familiar with quotation marks because you see it a lot in your books while you're reading. You use it when you're in your writing, when you're writing your stories. But there's a set of rules that you have to follow to make sure you use quotation marks in the right way. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Quotation marks are a set of curly hooks. So they look like this. Okay? That are used to surround. So surround means go around sentences or phrases to show a person's exact words. So let's take a look at this. Now, here you have open quotation marks because that shows when the person starts talking. And then they start to talk. Then you close the quotation marks because that's where you want to show the reader or the writer exactly where the person stopped talking. So you have open quotation marks, close quotation marks. So these are the two important things you need to know right now. So I'm going to show you an example. My dad said, "You are the best." Do we see the open quotation marks? Yes, here they are, open quotation marks. And then I also see the closed quotation marks because at that point, the person who's talking stopped. Let's take a look at the second sentence. She said, "I really worked hard." Open quotation marks, close quotation marks. Excellent. So quotation marks show exactly what the person is saying. Excellent. But how many of you notice another punctuation mark in these two sentences? Aside from the period and the exclamation mark, have you noticed any other punctuation marks? Yes, a comma. So I'm going to add it to this side. A comma. Move this up. Comma. You see the comma? So the comma looks similar to the quotation marks, but the quotation marks are curly hooks on the top of sentences, and commas are usually at the bottom. And quotation marks show when a person is talking their exact words, but commas show when you need to pause. So let me write that down. Commas means you need to pause. And pausing means to stop for a little bit. Okay? Commas mean you need to pause. And you must, here's the rule, you must put a comma right before what a person says. So right before they say something, you must put a comma. So that's the rule. So I'm going to keep that right here. Okay? Now let's go back to see where that comma is. Are we already seeing where the comma is? Yes. So here, my dad said, comma. We notice that it's not like the quotation marks. It may look like it, but where is it? The bottom. Yes. Comma. You are the best. She said, comma, I really worked hard. Now I'm going to read it with the comma and the quotation marks. Notice how my voice changes, okay? My dad said, you are the best. She said, I really worked hard. Do you notice the difference? Excellent. Now, let's move on. As we talked about that these two sentences have commas right before the direct quote to show when we need to pause right before what the person says, you can write both these sentences in a whole different way. But I want you to pay attention to the punctuation. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to write these two sentences in a different way. Look at it now. I'm going to erase it. All right, here we go. All right. Maybe I should write that a little bit bigger. I'll write it next to it. All right. Now, let's take a look at these sentences. You can do it, said my dad. I really worked hard, she replied. These sentences are showing exactly what the person is saying, but this time they say it first, okay? Then we learn who says it. They say it first, then we learn who says it. Now, what happened to the punctuation in both these sentences? And I want you to pay attention to more so the comma. What happened to the comma in both these sentences? Look at it very closely. Notice that this is the open and closed quotation marks. But what happened to the comma compared to the other sentences we saw? Yes, they are reversed. Okay? The comma is inside the quotation mark. Right? Remember it was outside the quotation mark? And it's inside the quotation mark. Right before the quotation mark. Right? So that's, things did change up a little bit. So, initially, the statement said, my dad said, you can do it. He said it first. Like, they made sure to write that sentence and then he talked. But this time he talks first and then you know who's talking. This time she talks first, then you know who's talking. So when they talk first, the comma must be right before the closed quotation marks. But if we know who's talking first, the comma comes after the closed quotation marks, okay? Tricky, right? I know. All right. Now, I want to let you know of another thing about quotation marks. Things change when sentences in quotation marks are a question or when it's exclamatory, meaning it shows a lot of excitement. All right, let's look at this one. Ready? Do you think you can do it? Asked my dad. Right? Now I'm going to write the second sentence. I am trying my best. She replied. All right, now let's take a look at this. All right, do you think you can do it? Oh, question mark. Where do you notice a question mark is? Right before the closed quotation mark. Good, asked my dad. I'm trying my best. Exclamation mark. Right before the closed quotation mark, she replied. Excellent. So, today we learned about how important quotation marks are, where we put quotation marks, and why a comma is important when we are using quotation marks. I'm going to turn it back as a review. Quotation marks are curly hooks that shows a person's exact words. We have open quotation marks when they start talking and closed quotation marks when they stop talking. We must use a comma, and a comma is used to show that you must pause a little bit. And we must put the comma right before what a person says. So depending on if you're asked, the person starts talking, we put the comma before the quotation marks. Or if we know who's talking first and then they start talking, we know where to put the quotation marks. Excellent job, boys and girls. It was great teaching you today. We're going to do some review. See you in a bit. Bye.